In this daily drop, I'm going to talk about Shotdeck, which has been for me a source of inspiration and education, and I think is a great tool to have as part of your pre-production process. So let's go. Okay, here we are, last episode of the week. I am going to try and get some BTS footage of the production we're doing so that I can do an episode next week about that. No promises, but fingers crossed. But what I wanted to talk about today was Shotdeck. I have been a member of Shotdeck. I signed up during beta, which was now quite some time ago. And it was started by Larry Sher, who is a fantastic cinematographer. And he decided to create this library of stills that is categorized in many, many different ways for some of the greatest films and content that's ever been created. So it's there. And it is a subscription-based service. I pay for it. And I have found that for me personally, that the amount of inspiration that I can get from it, and also just creating lookbooks. You have a project coming up and you want to go for a certain look or feel. You are the DP or cinematographer, or you are hiring somebody in that role and you want to have creative conversations with them. I think for the $8 and change a month to have access to a growing library of images that can be used for that purpose is fantastic. So why don't we just go ahead and take a look at it briefly, and I'll take you through at least a couple of the features, and I'll see you in a minute after we take a look at that. Okay, so here we are in Shotdeck, and you can see right away we are presented with a place to search. And then up here in the top right, we have different tabs or windows: browse titles, browse shots, decks, blog, help, and then basically information about your account. And you can scroll down here, and they always have recently added, trending films, trending directors, trending DPs, trending searches, and then some stills you can jump right to. And if you knew exactly what you were looking for, you could just go ahead and type that in. So I'll just go ahead and type in the original. Let's not mess with that other one, even though it's a beautiful film. And we go in here and we're taking a look at Blade Runner. Really, the power of this comes in when you're looking at the filter results here and you're drilling down. And we can drill down within a particular film, but it's generally better to drill down when you're looking for inspiration as sort of a broader search. So before I do that, let's just take a look at browse titles. So you can see here it's an alphabetical list of titles, which has to do with movies, television shows, music videos, so on and so forth. And you can see the enormity of this, and they just keep adding to this essentially every week, which is amazing. So if I go in here to Poltergeist, you can see there's 312 stills from that film. I can click on a particular still and take a look at it, and it will give me a tremendous amount of information regarding that. And all of this metadata is linked. So if I was interested in one particular aspect of this and I wanted to see other medium shots, I would just click on medium, and then it starts giving me medium shots from other content that's inside of Shotdeck. So again, just really amazing in terms of the amount of information that's there. Let's go back to browse shots. And if I just click on that again, we get a random sort you can see here. And it's not a particular film. So this is how I would go in and now say, let's take a look, and I want to create a lookbook, but I know that the genre that I'm going into is science fiction, and I want to take a look at an aspect ratio because I'm talking about an aspect ratio for the film. We're going to do we'll say a 2:3:9. And then we're going to go in and let's start to get into some of the specifics. So I'm going to go in and say shot type. I'd like to see some low angle shots. I'd like to see composition that is short side, which I love. Some of these are short side. I guess they are. There's Blade Runner again. And we'll say lighting. And we're talking about, let's just say for giggles, we're talking about hard light. So we want to take a look at shots like that. Okay, so now we have these shots. And what I want to do is I want to start to create a lookbook with these. So I'll go over here and I'm just going to always pick this shot. And I'm going to say, let's go ahead and add this to a deck. Well, I don't have a deck yet for this, so I'm going to say new deck. I'm going to call it sci-fi sci-fi film. We'll just call it for now. And we're going to go ahead and add this shot to that. Okay, so that's done. And boom. Now we go over here to decks. And you'll see that I have sci-fi film now as a new deck inside of here. Now let's just go back and I'll find one more shot, which I like here. I can do a quick add to sci-fi film. Boom. We go back to decks and I click on that and I have two shots. Well, let's say I want to export this. There's an easy way to do that. We say export and you can choose your format, or I could share this with somebody who I'm collaborating with and you can see I'm now presented with this dialogue. So really, really, really powerful stuff. And then we can take a look at some of the other decks that I've created here. So you start to put together these different lookbooks, which can inform the types of content that you're creating. And so for me, just invaluable. I mean, really, it's a steal in terms of what it is. So there you go. That's Shotdeck. Now you build these decks either for inspiration or for lookbooks for projects. One piece of advice I would give to you if you're new and you're sort of starting your journey towards becoming a director of photography is look into the eyes of the characters of your subject matter. Not only with something like Shotdeck, which is this amazing library that you can use, this great resource, but also any other content that you like that you find on YouTube or somewhere else. If you look into the eyes, you can very, very clearly see most of the time where the light's coming from, what kind of light it is. And if you combine that with the way the light's falling on your subject, it can start you on your path and your journey to becoming a better director of photography, a better gaffer, better at lighting. That's what I got. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.